Have you ever imagined releasing a popular Roblox game with hundreds of players? This is sadly not a reality for most people. Why is this? Why do 96% of Roblox developers fail? What makes successful devs different from everyone else? In this video, I will show you on how you can avoid being the 96% of Roblox developers who never saw a player play the Roblox game. How do you make sure that you stay over the long term? The first thing that you need to consider is, what is your purpose with Roblox development? Many people will think that in order for you to get started, you have to be the best at your craft. Fortunately, starting Roblox development has a low barrier of entry. This means that it is very competitive. How do you stand out among the millions of Roblox developers? You need to consider on what is your game about. What makes it so different that anyone will play your game? Obviously, if you don't put that much effort into your game, no one will play it. However, we have to realize that it is difficult for you to attract people even when you assume that you have done everything right. So first, you need to have a strategy. Why is it so important? This is because it will allow you to have a plan for you to be able to release a successful Roblox game that gets players. When I initially started with Roblox development over 2 years ago, my first goal was to literally finish my game. I can guarantee you that most people who start Roblox development never see the game completed. This is because there are two things that you need to consider before diving up a strategy. Your strategy is highly dependent on what goal you set for yourself. If your goal is to get 10 players for your Roblox game, then it is really achievable compared to getting 100,000. I will now cover a bit on mindset on why it is so important for you not to give up Roblox development. I have so many new aspiring developers quit because they are not getting the result that they wanted. Roblox development is not going to be easy for you. For instance, I didn't get a single player on my game until a year later from where I initially started. This is where people get discouraged. Having that strong belief is so detrimental in Roblox development. If you want to be able to see results, you have to stay over the long term. Nobody starts perfect. Even the greatest Roblox developers that you have heard of, they have to start from somewhere. What I want you to get from this is you have to consider on what strategies are you going to implement in order for you to reach your goal. So let's assume that most of you want to finish a Roblox game. What are the steps for you to be able to do that? You need to come up with a manageable schedule that allows you to be able to develop your Roblox game for at least 50 minutes a day. Personally, I set myself to do Roblox development on the morning, usually the first 15 minutes. This is because this will allow me to continue working on my Roblox game. I know that we all have busy lives. We all have a life after all. So you need to consider on when you are going to work on your Roblox game. I would suggest that you should put it on the morning so you can have the energy and the motivation to do so. The thing that I found myself is I usually have motivation in the morning. After that, my energy starts to drain because of RL activities. Obviously, when you come back to school, you feel tired. You probably play a sport or whatsoever, or you probably done a test. I know what it's like on that situation before. So, as a result, you feel less compelled to actually finish your Roblox game. Everyone's schedule is going to be different. You have to adjust to a specific period of time where you feel that you are able to work on your Roblox game. There's no excuse for you to scroll TikTok all day and watch Skibbly Toilet. Instead of doing that, you can literally create a Skibbly Toilet game instead. Because not only you are able to enhance your skills, you are able to build your Roblox game from scratch, which will help you to get started and prevent being the 96% of people who never finish the Roblox game. The thing is, the biggest issue why most people quit Roblox development is because of procrastination. As I say, procrastination is the biggest killer to all dreams. Because if we just put some action into our goal, it will move us one step forward at a time. It doesn't matter where you're at. The reason why many people quit Roblox development is simply because they don't have the motivation to do so. Oftentimes, when I talk to people who give up Roblox development, the number one reason is simply because they don't have the motivation to get started. Think about this. Do you need to have motivation to watch TikTok and YouTube Shorts? The simple answer is no. This is because your brain is conditioned into seeking pleasurable activities. Yes, it may feel like Roblox Development is hard to do, but it will have a long-lasting impact over the long term. On the other hand, if you watch TikTok all day, yes, you do get that dopamine rush, but eventually you will start to feel bad of yourself. You will think that you're worthless, and as a result, you won't be compelled to focus on achieving your goals. This isn't just an issue for Roblox development. This applies to many fields, whether that be starting your own YouTube channel, freelancing, or even start an online business. The number one reason why most Roblox developers quit is simply because they don't have the drive to keep them going in Roblox development. If you want to get started with Roblox development, you have to get started. You have to develop discipline. Why do I mention discipline? Discipline is so important for you to be able to achieve your goals. What you need to do in order for you to strengthen discipline. What do you need to do in order for you to strengthen discipline? First of all, delete all of your social media that you don't need. I would assume that 99% of people are not actually content creators. What do I recommend for you to do this? The reason why is simply because social media makes you addicted to it. If you want to achieve your goal of becoming a Roblox developer, you have to set your priorities, whether that be cutting off anything that brings you instant gratification. Instead, you should focus on things such as study and learning. If you can do it, you will be a milestone ahead compared to the rest of your competition. Because I can guarantee you that most Roblox developers suffer from procrastination. What about the immense competition, as you'll probably think? Your second strategy is to focus on what is the weakness of your competition. The reason why I'm tending to do this is simply because everyone has strengths and weaknesses. We are all human. Anyways, analyzing trend is the most important way that you can succeed in Roblox development, because this has the potential for you to find players to play your Roblox game. When you identify something that can have the potential to blow up, you are more likely to succeed. In addition, you have to think about your target audience. These are the people who will play your Roblox game. One of the reasons on why Roblox developers quit is simply because they don't attract to the right audience. For example, if you were to make a game that is specifically for 9-year-old kids, would you create something like GTA? Of course you wouldn't, because that wouldn't resonate with your target audience. If you have a target audience on mind, you need to think about on how am I going to make my game appeal to my audience. Because at the end of the day, the Roblox algorithm is looking for games that actually appeals to its target audience. Hence, we see some games such as Pet Simulator blow up compared to those who never get any players at all. You have to realize that your idea is the most crucial part in Roblox development, as well as trying to implement it into our game. We would have great ideas. However, we often fail to make it a reality. Why is that? There's a simple answer. It's just too hard for you. What can we do to fix this? First, you need to think about what are you good at, because most of the time, people who are just beginning, they attempt to make games like Pet Simulator. It's simply too hard for them. So you need to think about what game that I can create that can go viral. This video on screen will explain you how to do so. I'll see you there.